Good evening, everyone. Today is 31st of July 2026, and we have our last session of Somya Gupta, PhD scholar on the career astrology path. So, Somya, over to you. Please
Thank you so
start
much,
it.
ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome for today's session. Our topic for our today's topic is Discover Your Career Path Through Astrology via Bhrigu Nandinadi and Gemini Astrology. Today, we are going to explore a question that almost every person asks at certain stage of life, like what is the right career path for me? Career is not just a job title, salary, or designation. Career represent our karma, responsibility, contribution, social identity, and the way we use our natural abilities in the world. In in today's session, we'll understand we'll understand career through three important astrological approaches: BPHS, Brigunandi Nadi, and Gemini astrology. Each method views the chart from a different angle. The Parashari method, the uh, the uh, the Parashari astrology gives the structure through houses, lord, planets, yogas, D10, and dashas. Bhrigunandi Nadi reads the planet like a connected story. Gemini astrology helps us to understand the native's inner purpose and the professional role through char karakas, karma kanshas, and sign aspects. Today, we will not simply memorize career combinations. We will learn how to connect different indications and form a logical career conclusion. So, before starting my session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Somya Gupta. I am a student of Visro. I have completed many courses from Visro, and my learning journey is still continuing. Astrology is a very deep subject. The more we study, the more we realize that astrology cannot be understood only through definitions and memorizing chart. It requires regular chart practices, observation, discussions, guidance from teachers. My personal focus is to explain astrology in a simple language. When we learn a complicated concept in simple words, we'll be able to memorize it more responsibly and confidently. Uh, People may take major strong decisions based on our astrological words. So, being an astrologer, we should never create unnecessary fear. Instead of giving harsh or fixed statements, we should explain the native strength, challenges, possibilities. Visro has helped me to learn astrology in a structured, practical, and ethical manner. The courses are organized step by step from foundation level concept to deeper and more advanced structure or subject. The institute gives importance to chart practices, questions, discussions, and real life application. This learning journey has taught me that astrology is not only language, it's a responsibility. So, before beginning my main topic, I would like to express my gratitude to Visro. Visro helps me move beyond memorizing planetary meanings. It teaches us how to understand the complete chart. Traditional knowledge is explained in simple language, but the seriousness and the depth of astrology are maintained. One of the strongest aspects of Visro is practical learning. When we learn a principle and immediate apply it to the actual chart, the concept become much more clearer. Visro also encouraged us to balance intuitions with logic. Intuitions may guide us towards possibility, but a chart may provide proper uh, mm, astrological insight. So, a responsible astrologer should guide the native while free will, practical circumstances, and the personal choices. I am again grateful to all my gurus, teachers, mentors, and fellow students for their continuous guidance. The four value I associate with Visro are respect, practice, clarity, and responsibility. Thank you, Visro, for creating a learning environment where astrology is studied with sincerity and devotion. So topics we have covered till now. So before moving to BNN and Gemini, let us quickly revise what we have learned till now. We have discussed what is the meaning of career. We studied the 10th house as the main house of profession, status, authority, recognition, and responsibility. We also studied other important career houses. The second houses represent income, wealth, speech. The sixth house represent employment, service, competition. The seventh house represent business, client, partnership. The 11th house represent gain and network. We also studied Dasha because a career promise may exist in a chart, but the result generally comes or visible when the planetary results become active. It studies the professional meaning of different planets. We understood Saturn's role in karma, discipline, responsibility, and long term growth. We also studied the result of different planets placed in 10th house. After this, we have completed the whole analysis of D10 and discussed the career combination for both the modern and the traditional professions. But today we are go. Today we'll be adding two more tools into our learning journey: Bhrigunandi Nadi and Gemini astrology. Let us understand today's journey. First, we will study the basic philosophy of Bhrigunandi Nadi. Then we will understand why Saturn is considered a core significator of karma and professional life. We also understand Jupiter's role as a significator of native self and wisdom. After this, we will learn how to connect planets and identify a professional story through BNN. Then we will move towards Gemini. We will study the Char Karakas, especially the Atma Karak and the Amatya Karaka. We will also understand the Karma Kansha and the 10th house from Karma Kansha. Finally, we will analyze the two charts uh, by a BPHS, BNN, and Gemini conclusion. So, BPHS, BNN, and Gemini astrology should not be treating as a opposing system. They are the three complementary lenses. BPHS or the Parashari astrology. Parashari astrology gives us the structural framework. We examine the houses, house lords, planets, yogas, divisional charts, and dashas. For career, we begin with the 10th house and the 10th lord. Then we will study the second house for income, sixth for employment, seventh for business, and 11th for gains. Then BNN, which is Bhrigunandi Nadi, focuses more strongly on planets and their relationship. We connect planets through conjunction, trines, adjacent sign, and sign flow and other relationship. All the planets create a story. Gemini astrology give importance to char karakas, sign aspects, karma kansha, and the 10th house from karma kansha. It helps to understand the native's inner purpose and professional role. The strongest judgment comes when all the three systems repeat a similar theme. We should not force the system to get the same thing, but we should analyze it naturally uh, recurring repetition in the charts. What is Bhrigunandi Nadi? Bhrigunandi Nadi is a flowing planet to planet method of chart analysis. In Parashari astrology, we generally begin with house and the house lord. But in BNN, planets and their relationship become very central. We have to read a chart like a story. We study which planets are together, which are connected through trines, which occupy neighboring signs, which planet influence the flow of event. For example, imagine that Jupiter is connected with Venus. Venus is connected with Sun. Sun is connected with Mars. So Jupiter represent wisdom, expansion, guidance. Venus represent value, creativity, product. Sun represent authority and visibility. Mars represent action, tools, technical execution. When we connect these meanings, the professional story may involve knowledge, creative value, authority, and technical implementation. BNN is practical and event oriented. So it is not simply a method of memorizing two planets combination. We have to understand the complete chain. So the central BNN teaching is, first we have to connect the planets, then understand their combined languages, and then we will create our professional story. Uh, in Bhrigunandi Nadi, Saturn is treated as the core significator of karma and professional life. Why Saturn is so important? Because Saturn represents what we repetitively do. Career is not formed only by talent or ambition. Career is formed through our daily actions, responsibility, discipline, pressure, and consistency. Saturn shows how the native perform karma in practical life. It represents duty, responsibility, daily work, services, pressure, industry, structure, labor. When we analyze career through BNN, we should carefully study the planet connected with Saturn. The planets connected with Saturn can tell us the style and the field of natives' work. For example, if Saturn get connected with Mars, we can say that it indicates technical skills, construction, factories, manufacturing, or operations. When Saturn is connected with Mercury, we can say that it can support audit, account, administration, process management, or structural business. When Saturn is connected with Venus, it represents or it supports audits, accounts. It supports designs, fashion, architect, or creative industry. When Saturn is connected with Rahu, it indicates large organization, technology, automation, or mass scale operation. So, a strong and well supported Saturn can give stable growth. However, Saturn may not give immediate result. It normally gives results after discipline, patience, and maturity. So the Saturn shows karma. The planet connected with Saturn shows the style of karma, and the complete connection gives the profession. So in BNN, Jupiter is extremely important, as Jupiter represents the native self, wisdom, direction, growth, and expansion. It tells us to understand what the person naturally grows through. Like Jupiter represents self, knowledge, wisdom, blessing, belief system, and the broad life direction. The planets connected with Jupiter shows the experiences, skills, areas through which the native may expand. For example, if Jupiter connected with Mercury, the native may grow through knowledge, communication, commerce, education, finance, consulting. If Jupiter connected with Venus, the growth may come through creativity, relationship, design, luxury, counseling. If Jupiter connected with Mars, growth may come through action, leadership, engineering, property, technical work. If Jupiter connected with Saturn, we may go through discipline, system, service, or long term institutional work. If Jupiter gets connected with Rahu, we may get foreign connection, technology, large network, or unconventional ideas. So, for career analysis, Jupiter should be read together with Saturn. For example, if Jupiter is connected with Venus, Saturn is connected with Mars, and the person may have a creative or consumer oriented identity, but perform work involving machinery, production, or operation. This can become a manufacturing, design, production, or product related professional story. So, how to check career through BNN? First, we'll identify the main career planets like Sun gives authority, Mercury gives intelligence, communication, Jupiter gives wisdom, um, expansion, Saturn gives work, responsibility, Mars gives action, engineering, Venus gives design, creativity, Rahu gives technology, foreign influence. Then we'll study Saturn, then we'll study Jupiter, how they are placed in the chart. Then we'll study other planetary links, like we'll check the trines, adjacent sign or sign to sign flow between the planets, between the all the planets. Then we'll create a professional theme. Either that person will be into a creative field, technical field, law, teaching, administration, medical. After that, finally, we'll check dasha and planetary activation, because BNN become more reliable when the same pattern repeats in D1, D10, and dashas. So let us understand some simple combinations. Like these are only indicators. We should not be treated as a guaranteed profession. If Sun and Mercury are together in a chart, together they support management, government work, documentation, administration, leadership. When Mars and Saturn are together, they can support engineering, manufacturing, construction, machinery, operations. When Mercury and Jupiter are together, they support teaching, finance, law, banking, consultation, or advisory work. When Venus and Mercury are together, they can support photography, design, marketing, advertising, or creative business. When Rahu, Mercury, Saturn are together, they can support artificial intelligence, digital platform, technology operations, or the data analyst. When Jupiter and Moon are together, they support counseling, teaching, healing, hospitality, and the public guidance. So the planetary connection plus the career house plus the strength plus the timing helps us to give a stronger or better prediction. What is Gemini astrology? So after BNN, we learn about the Gemini astrology. Gemini astrology gives us another way to understand purpose, profession, and role. It gives importance to sign aspects, char karkas, or karmakansha. The word char means movable. The char karkas changes from chart to chart according to the planetary degree. For career analysis, three factors are generally important. First, the Atmakarka. It represents the soul main lesson, inner drive, and life purpose. Second, Amatyakarka, which is represent the professional guide. It indicates the native career skills, working style, or the professional direction. Third is 10th from Karmakansha. The 10th house from Karmakansha helps to understand visible professional expression. So the Gemini flow chart is Atmakaraka gives the inner purpose, Amatya Karaka gives us the professional skill, and the 10th house gives the visible work and the contribution. So let us understand the char karkas. The planet with the highest degree become the Atmakarka, and the planet with the second highest degree in the chart becomes our Amatya Karka. The remaining planets receive other Karka roles according to their degree ranking. So first is Atmakaraka, which represents soul, inner purpose, or primary life lesson. Second is Amatya Karka, which represent profession, skill, career direction, and success path. Third is Bharati Karka, which represents sibling, courage, communication, effort, and teamwork. Fourth is Matri Karka, which represent comfort, mother, education, emotional support, and the workplace stability. Next is Pitra Karka, which represent authority, father figure, bosses, government, and mentors. Next is Putra Karka, which represent creativity, intelligence, teaching, and creative output. Next is Gunati Karaka, which represent obstacles, competition, disputes, and service. And the last is Dar Karaka, which represent partner, client, and public dealing. So for career, we'll begin with the Atmakaraka, Amatya Karaka, and the 10th house indications. How to check career through Gemini astrology. First, we'll find Atmakaraka and Amatyakaraka. As you all know, Atmakaraka shows our inner purpose and Amatyakaraka shows our professional ability. Then we'll study the Amatyakaraka, that like we'll check its sign, its strength, placement, sign aspects. For example, Saturn as Amatya Karaka can indicate system, responsibility, industry. Mercury as Amatya Karaka can indicate business, communication, accounts, data, technology. Venus as Amatya Karaka can indicate creativity, design, luxury, public relation. After that, we study Karma Kansha. Karma Kansha is the Navansha sign of the Atma Karaka. It is treated as a special ascendant. Fourth, we'll check the 10th from Karma Kansha, which gives important clues about profession and visible contribution. And fifth, we'll use dashas, planetary dashas, and repetitive pattern across the chart. But Amatya Karak is the key career planet in Gemini astrology. So now we'll take two examples. This is the example chart one. I'm just this native is into a large scale bottle industry, bottle manufacturing business. My purpose to tell you the business in advance so that you'll be able to match what I'm explaining it about the career, so that you can all relate about his profession. So this native has a Leo ascendant. The Sun, Jupiter, Venus are placed in the ascendant. Mars is in the 10th house from Taurus. Saturn is in the 6th house from in Capricorn in its own sign. Mercury is in Cancer in the 12th house. Leo ascendant. Leo is ruled by Sun, so it gives authority, leadership, command, desire to become the primary decision maker. This is helpful for running a large business. Sun, Jupiter, Venus in the ascendant. Sun gives us authority. Jupiter gives expansion and vision. Venus is the 10th lord placed in the 10th house. Therefore, the profession become more closely connected with the native's personality and identity. Let me show you the chart again. Like there's a chart, so you can all connect with what I am saying for the this chart. Mars in the 10th house. Mars gives machinery, production, engineering, execution. Saturn in the 6th house. Like Saturn in Capricorn supports workforce management, plant routine, discipline, labor, and logistic system. So the strong first, 6th, and 10th house indication indicates owner-led industrial combination or potential. Now we analyze career with the help of a BPHS. So Mars in the 10th house, when Mars in the 10th house, it represents energy, tool, machinery, physical production. Its placement in the 10th house make manufacturing and technical execution part of the profession. Taurus is in the earthy sign, so it supports tangible, physical, utility-based product. Therefore, Mars is in the Taurus, can support the production of physical goods such as container, packaging, and storage related products. Venus as the 10th lord, placed in the ascendant. Venus represents value, design, consumer goods. This show person involvement in the product and the business. Leo ascendant, which provides ownership, mentality, leadership, and command over large operations. Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in its own sign in the 6th house is strong for industry, labor system, operations, and discipline. Jupiter in the Lagna, Jupiter expands the native's confidence, business vision, growth potential. Mercury is in Pushya Nakshatra. Mercury is the planet of business, commerce, and calculation. So Pushya is ruled by Saturn. So therefore, Mercury is in the Saturn rule nakshatra, connects business intelligence with structure and system. The BPHS conclusion we get for this is the owner-led bottle manufacturing supported by machinery, labor, and product quality. Now let's analyze the same charts through BNN. So Saturn is strong and is placed in Capricorn, which represent that the native's professional karma through industry, labor, plant discipline, and logistic. Jupiter is placed in the ascendant. Jupiter represents the self, life direction, expansion. So this shows that the natives naturally desire growth, large scale, and a wider business vision. Venus is the 10th lord placed in the ascendant. It represents the product quality, consumer value, and the wealth accumulation. Mars in the 10th, which may represent machinery, mechanical production, and execution. Mars is also placed in the Rohini Nakshatra, which is ruled by Moon. So, with this interpretation, we can say that this may support liquid nourishment or a bottle oriented business. Mercury represents business calculation, trade, management, which is placed in Pushya Nakshatra, link commercial ability with Saturn system. So, like the BNN story is that Jupiter represent growing native, Saturn represent industrial karma, Venus represent product, Mars represent machinery, Mercury represent business management. Together, this create a clear story of a large-scale bottle manufacture. Next, we analyze the same chart with the Gemini view. So in Gemini, through by Gemini analysis, Saturn becomes the Amatya Karaka, which is the primary professional significator. Mars strongly support the career because it occupies the 10th house. Saturn as Amatya Karaka represent industry, system, labor, responsibility, operational discipline. Its placement in the Capricorn strengthen all these qualities. Mars in the 10th house gives machinery, physical production, technical ability, activity, plant execution. Mercury represent trade, calculation, contracts, management. Saturn influence or Mercury connects industrial system with commercial ability. Venus is the 10th lord, placed in the ascendant, supports ownership, consumer products or product value. So, an important clarification is that according to the Char Karka method, the only planet become the Amatya Karaka is Saturn. So it is very powerful, and Mars is also uh, very strongest for the uh, manufacturing career planet. So why Gemini conclusion, we can say that Saturn provides industrial system, Mars provide production, Mercury provides business management, Venus provides products or product value and ownership. Now we'll combine all three combinations and we'll see like what we have observed through BPHS, PN and Gemini. So via BPHS, we have observed that Mars is in the 10th house, gives machinery production. Venus as 10th lord in the ascendant gives personal involvement and product value. Saturn in the 6th gives workforce, system and industry. According to BNN, Jupiter shows native expansion, Saturn shows industrial karma, Venus gives the product, Mars gives the machines, Mercury gives the business management. According to Gemini, Saturn has a Matya Karaka, which shows structured and industrial potential work. Mars supports production. Saturn influence on Mercury connects industry with commerce. Repetiting professional direction includes bottle manufacturing, consumer packaging, utility product, machinery, labor, logistic. So this chart strongly support a structured and a manufacturing business with significant personal ownership and operational involvement. So uh, like this chart supports bottle manufacturing and related industries such as glass container packaging. Like Jupiter is ascendant, provides confidence, expansion, and desire to grow. Mars in the 10th house gives production capability, mechanical drive. Saturn in the 6th gives control over labor, compliances, planned routine. Mercury in Pushya Nakshatra gives commercial sense. Venus provides product quality, market value. So in this chart, we can say that this chart strongly support production management because we in all the three charts, we can see the similar pattern repeating again and again. So my final judgment, our final judgment should always be checked with all the planets, with the all the like from the BPHS, BNN, and Gemini, plus the supporting dashas. Now it's a second chart. This chart is for a native who is into technical or a creative field, like he's a photographer. So this chart has a Pisces ascendant, The Pisces is an imaginative, artistic, sensitive, and intuitive. Jupiter ruled both the first and the 10th house, and it is placed in the 8th house. So, this can create a career transformation, uncertainty, changes before the native settles into a correct profession. The 8th house also represents the hidden subject, depth, or the specialized work. Photography is useful because it requires two types of ability. The artistic skill requires Venus, Moon, and the Pisces. The technical side require Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and the Virgo. Modern photography also require Rahu because it is digital technology, sensor, media, or unconventional expression. Ketu in and 12th house theme can indicate independent, isolation, and backstage work. So this chart therefore point towards a profession that combines creativity, technology, preciseness, and independence. So from BNN point of view, Saturn and Mars are together in Virgo. Mars represent camera, tool, lenses, and technical equipment. Saturn represent patience, discipline, and repetitive professional effort. Virgo represent preciseness, detailing, perfection. Together, Saturn and Mars create a technical or a skilled professional pattern. Venus is connected with Saturn, so Venus adds beauty, art, visual appeal. Rahu and Gemini add media, communication, digital technology, and a non-traditional career style. Mercury provides editing, technical calculation, optics, and equipment handling. The moon provides imagination and emotionally storytelling. So the BNN professional story becomes Saturn gives discipline, Mars gives equipment, Virgo becomes the preciseness, Venus gives the beauty, Mercury gives the technical skills, Moon gives imagination, and the Rahu gives the digital innovation. So this is powerful combination for photography, digital visuals, and the freelancing creative work. And according to Gemini astrology, Saturn is Amatya Karaka and is placed in Virgo. This indicates a profession requiring detailed perfection, technical discipline, and problem solving. Ketu is placed in the 10th house from the ascendant. Ketu can support an independent, unusual, or specialized profession. Ketu also focused on the microscopic observation, which can be used for detailed photography. Venus provides artistic composition and beauty. Mercury adds calculation, editing, and technical handling. Moon in the 8th house supports depth, imagination, hidden subject, or emotionally intense visuals. Sun and Mercury in the 12th house may indicate work away from a fixed office environment. It can support isolated work, backstage work, foreign connection, or freelancing assignments. So, this chart, my conclusion after seeing all the three lenses, like this chart is very good for freelancing photography, combining technical preciseness, artistic sensitivity, and professional independence. So the biggest learning from all these two examples is that we do not stop after one technique. We should recheck like from BPHS, BNN, Gemini, Dashas as a cross-checking tools. Look for repetition. In the manufacturing chart, we repeatedly saw manufacture machinery, industry, product, labor, business management. In photography, we repeatedly saw creativity, digital technology, independence. After that, I we judge the style of work. So most importantly, you should also remember the timing because timing matters a lot. So a strong professional promise require an appropriate dasha and practical opportunity. So let us summarize today's session. Uh, First, we have understood the chart via BPHS. Then we have read a chart like from a BNN point of view. We have read a planet as a connected flow. Then we study from Gemini point of view. So the my final conclusion is that we should always predict a promise. First, we should check a promise. Then we should check a pattern. Then we should check a repetition, and then we should check for a timing before giving any prediction in career. So, thank you everyone for attending today's session. I hope this presentation has helped you to understand how career can be analyzed via BPHS, BNN, and Gemini. I would like to once again express my sincere gratitude to Visro. I am thankful to all my gurus, teachers, mentors for providing knowledge, guidance, and encouragement. Visro has given me opportunity to learn astrology with clarity, discipline, and devotion. So thank you so much once again for listening me patiently. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, Soumya. That was wonderful session, and the comparison between all the three methods is absolutely very, 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 very nice and clear. Any questions from the audience?
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ మ్యామ్. జస్ట్ నో యాజ్ యూ సెడ్ కంపారిజన్ చేసి చెప్పారు చూడండి. ఈ
Yeah.
భృగునందినాడి, పరాశర, ఇంకా మిగిలిన జైమిని, ఇవన్నీ కంపేర్ చేసి ఫైనల్ గా ఒక కన్క్లూజన్, ఒక ఒక సిద్ధాంతం లాగా ఇవ్వటం, ఏ ప్లానెట్ ఏది అనేది దేనికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది, ఇది చాలా బాగుంది నిజంగా.
Yeah.
అండ్ బై ద వే, టుడే ఇస్ మై బర్త్డే. బెస్ట్
Oh,
విషెస్
wow.
టు సౌమ్య.
Congratulations and happy birthday. Best wishes to you, ma'am.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Congratulations, ma'am.
సౌమ్య. అలాగే థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఉంటాను.
So, Soumya, have you heard Nagaminakshi Garu said that your session is excellent and the comparison way, the way you have compared within the three methods is an excellent point along with the methodology. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, any more questions? I guess no. And once again, congratulations, Soumya, for all the three sessions. And please continue with your thesis. Yeah,
Thesis work.
Kirti ji.
सौम्या मैम, आपने बहुत अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया। अब तो मुझे ऐसा
Thank
लग
you,
रहा है
ma'am.
कि तीनों प्रेडिक्शन करने के पहले अपने को जेमिनी से भी देखना चाहिए और बीनेन से भी, तीनों का लेके फिर प्रेडिक्ट करना चाहिए प्रोफेशन के बारे में। ओनली
मैंने
पीपीएचएस नहीं करना चाहिए, मुझे तो अभी ऐसे ही लग
Yes,
रहा है।
ma'am.
तीनों का यूज करके करना चाहिए। अच्छा था मैम प्रेजेंटेशन आपका,
Thank you so
बहुत
much,
अच्छा।
ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Kirti ji. So if there are no questions, then we can wind up the session. And the next PhD scholar session will be on 6th of August. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And see you
Thank you.
soon on 6th.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank you, Soumya. Bye.
Bye bye.